Hello, hello, hello again. This is take 3. We're going to see if we can actually manage to be live for a little while on this take. Let's see what shows up. We're just having all kinds of fun today. So far, so good. Let's see. I want to adjust my picture a little bit. It seems like that's odd, isn't it? That is odd. It's not very well centered, is what it seems like. Okay. Anybody trying again with me? I apologize, guys, that it took so long to get this far. Hopefully, we'll be okay. Hopefully, we'll be okay now. So, anyway, let's clear some cards. Let's get ready. Let's do some nice fresh energy for this stream. We want things to do well. Privatissimo. Hello, hello. Happy holidays to you. Properly hood. You're not giving up on me? Well, thank goodness. I'm not giving up on me either. Try 3. 3 is a charm. I was like, well, if this doesn't work, man, I'll have to come back another day. I restarted my computer. I walked away. I was like, just walk away. Come back to it. Sometimes that's what you got to do. You just got to come back to it fresh. Helps your attitude, too, when you come back to something fresh. Because if you keep struggling, then you just want to start throw stuff. You don't really want to throw stuff for real. So we're just getting some fresh energy, clearing these cards all over again. So I want some fresh energy for this stream. Thank you very much, Properly. I appreciate that. That's a fantastic idea. Isn't it funny how that's the deck I'm clearing right now? This is the Rana George Lenormand, and I just really do love the cover, the back covers of it. I know, right? You're tapped in, baby girl. Excuse me. It is gorgeous. Would you like to see some of the pictures on the front? This lady who designed it grew up in Lebanon, and so she's got scenery that was from where she grew up. I don't know the stories behind it all, but I think it's really pretty. Right? Like that's the mountain in this deck. This is the man. And you can see, you know, the costuming and I don't know, is that a hookah? I think it's a big old hookah. I hadn't noticed that before. The moon is pretty. Clover's pretty. I love this piece. Look at that. Yeah, the lilies. I like the man there in that. That's the King of Spades, I think. And then this is really nice. This is actually an extra card in this deck, this bedroom. And it talks about things that happen privately, like in the private spaces in the house, not things that happen publicly. There's the tree. It's a particular type of tree that grows kind of low and wide like this. Trying to see what else is like different. Some of this, like the furniture, is different. Housing style is a little different. This looks very modern. This is, I take this as a depiction of sacred spirit there. It's a modern woman. Look at the, I'm not sure what that is in the background, if that's like stained glass or if it's a rug hanging on the wall in the background, but I think that's really pretty. The pathway card. Oh yeah, right there. It's nice, huh? All of this artwork is fantastic. This is the fish card. And the key. Anchor. The tower is a lighthouse here in this deck. I think it's a hanging rug too. This one I like a lot. This is the market. I think that's also different for this deck only, and it talks about commerce, going to the store. Sometimes it talks about the stock market. There's our snake, birds. Alicia, hello, hello. This is our garden here. He does look kind of lonely there, doesn't he? Unlike the one that was sitting and reclining in his own home. That's our stork. Here's our classic woman. Boop-a-doo-doo, the bouquet. Ship. We're just looking at the Lenormand deck that I'm messing with today, Alicia. Sun. There's the fox, that sneaky fox. This is the coffin. I think it's wild that we've got like this purple fabric hanging over the end. Don't know what to think about that. This is the clouds. It almost looks like a storm literally blowing in. You can even see the shadows on the ground underneath. Stars. I think this one's super pretty. Here's our cross. I think that's pretty. That looks like a piece of jewelry. And then the heart with the jewelry box. Here's our messenger. Here's the mice. They look like they're totally feasting. Right? Me too. This is the ring for this deck. It looks like a garnet ring to me. And here's the whip or the broom. Mostly we call it the whip, but it also can be the broom. And the book. The Book of Secrets or Learning. And we've gone through them all. This is my favorite Lenormand deck. They have some extra cards, but it gets me in trouble. When I was still working at the store and walking around and handing out cards to people, and this deck was new, I thought, well, what a great way to get to know it. Use it to hand out cards to people as they come in. And I used this deck, and the very first day I used it, it came up because of that bedroom card. That bedroom card tips me off to sex workers. So I identified somebody. I'm like, you work in the sex industry, don't you? And she was like, actually, I do. Like, I don't tell people that normally. I'm like, I said it quietly. It is very interesting, isn't it? And then the other thing that happened was this lady, I was reading for this lady, I pulled two cards with the Lenormand because one card doesn't tell you anything. You have to have the relationship between two cards to get a reading with this deck. And one of the ladies, I was like, your husband is having problems with, in the bedroom with performance. And she was like, her eyes got real big. She's like, yeah, I've been really worried about it. And she just started like spilling her guts out to me about how she was really worried. She doesn't know if he's cheating, blah, blah, blah. And anyway, she ended up booking a reading with me later on. But I was so embarrassed. I must have been beet red whenever I told her that. All right, so let's see. Let's find our best manifestation advice for today. Finally, right? Finally. Best manifestation advice for the next 24 hours for everybody watching this video now or who stumbles across it later. We have the Eight of Pentacles. Get to work. Get to work. Queen of Wands. Get to work doing something that's more independent, self-sufficient. This is saying work on your side gig. Eight of Chalices. This is coming back to work on your side gig. Basically, it doesn't have to be the side gig with that Queen of Wands. Excuse me, by the way. It can be whatever you do independently and self-sufficiently. So your own business. This can be get to work on that thing that you do independently and self-sufficiently, whether it's a side gig or your regular thing. And this says come back to it. So apparently you've worked on it before. It's time to get back into it and jump in and work on it again. All right. So that's what we've got for our manifestation advice today. I think that's super ironic because I used to do videos all the time. Spirit's saying, get to work. Get to work on your videos, Amista. But the intention for this is to apply for everybody. So maybe not everybody should work on videos, but get back to what you were doing that's independent and self-sufficient. All right. Who wants a message or who has a question? Let me get my little notebook out here. I need to save this. This is an important note. Okay. Stick that there. All right. Privatissimo. Is there an important love relationship coming from you this new year? Well, how are you defining important? Does that mean long lasting? Does that mean high quality? Does that mean one where I'm going to learn a karmic lesson that will benefit me the rest of my life? What does important mean? And by the way, also, please remind me what your first name is, honey. Very good job putting a time frame in there, though. Boo-ba-da-da. Devyani, you have a question? Okay. Okay. We will look at that. All right. Alicia, message. Properly, message. Laura. Feel like I should have remembered that, but I'm not going to beat up on myself. Proud of myself for not beating up on myself. Okay, so important, meaning long-lasting, high quality. Okay, so that means these cards aren't going to say, are not going to be paying attention to if something is not those things. Does Laura have a long-lasting, high-quality love relationship coming in this year? Well, let's make this by the end of 2026. Let's say by the end of 2026. Otherwise, we're restricting ourselves to just what? 5 days. So by the end of 2026, will Laura have a long-lasting, high-quality love relationship? Excuse me. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Damn it, girl. You do have somebody showing up that you've been together with before, or at least you guys have talked about dating before or something. King of Wands in reverse, though. This guy, he has no vision, no drive, no ambition. He could be all out depressed. Nine of Swords. When he shows up, this just really stresses you out. I'm not sure if you even take him back or not, but he definitely wants to get back together. Nine of Swords. That's a lot of stress. Ugh. No, don't do it. King of Swords in reverse. This is, oh shit. This is somebody coming in that's a liar. That's what I heard. Normally I don't call a King of Swords in reverse a liar. Usually I call him sarcastic, but you got somebody coming in that's a liar. Look at this, Queen of Chalices. Look at you looking at this. You're pretty calm here. You're just observing. I don't think this guy gets too far. I don't think he's a guy from the past. This guy's from the past. I think this person stresses you out. I don't know if you guys actually get back into a relationship or not, but he still stresses you out whether you do or not with that Nine of Swords here. This person shows up, but he's just a straight up liar. And I think you figured that out pretty quickly because you've got your own intuition going on here. That Queen of Chalices is highly intuitive. And I don't see you letting him, like, you're being very objective here. You're like, whatever. Whatever. I think you are here like, you know what? I'll let you buy me dinner and we can see what happens there. And then you see what a liar he is. And then I think you're like, you know what? I've got my eyes on the lookout for somebody else here. That's what I see is going on. So not this year. Now, if we were doing a live reading where it was just me and you, and I wasn't trying to read for everybody in here, the next question I would look at is, I would say, do you want to look at your best advice to speed up the process to bring in a high quality relationship? And then we would look at that. So I like to be empowering in my readings. Let's see. So Devyani wants to know when she's getting a new job. Okay, so Devyani. I want to word this like this. I want you to pay attention to how I'm wording it, Devyani. When will Devyani begin working at her next job? Will that happen? Will that happen by July 1st of 2026? I don't think you're working your next job then, but I don't think you're not working either. You have some inspiration here and you are taking care of the budget. So this tells me that you're doing some kind of, like, maybe you're cleaning people's houses, as your own thing, or, I mean, you've got some kind of gigs going on here, like repeated standalone work. We see you really impatient here because you're not at work. But by the time you get to the end of the year, I think you're liking what you've created for yourself with doing whatever your gig work is. Whether you design other people's websites or, whether you clean houses or, drive for Lyft or Uber or whatever your gig is, by the end of the year, you're pretty happy with it. You have inspiration. We see you starting with inspiration. So that inspiration's coming pretty soon. And this is inspiration about taking care of the budget. In the middle of the year, we see you impatient about not being at work, but you're totally adjusting, doing things as gig work to be able to take care of everything. And you're pretty happy with the lifestyle that you've created for yourself by the end of the year. I don't think you're getting a job. I think you're finding other ways to make money, though. But I don't think you're becoming an employee Not in 2026. Let me just check one more thing before. Will she be working a new job by the end of this year? I mean, that doesn't give us much time. Oh, wow, look at that. You're working a new job by the end of this year. I should have asked that to start with. Hanged Man in reverse says sooner rather than later. No delays. Second chance. The Empress, it's something that you really like. And the Moon, truth comes out. This is an opportunity you probably don't know about yet. Ace of Pentacles, new opportunity. So when we look at this for next year, definitely we've got the inspiration. You're taking care of business. I think you're starting your own thing. I still see you doing gig work next year. You're impatient. I think this job is not giving you everything that you want from it. That may be why you're so impatient here, because this impatience is because something isn't working out. But we see you liking the world that you've created. So I think you're going to be working your new job by the end of this year. I think that you're going to be doing some gig work starting really early, 2026. Almost as soon as you start your new job, you're starting some gig work, or at least you have ideas for it and you're starting to put it together. That is wild. Does that mean I will be leaving the country? That's a whole other question, honey. You can either catch me next time or else you can ask me a one question reading off of my website. Either way, probably catch me next time. Since you're not working, but a one question reading is only $30. But if you don't have it, I totally get it. But I think you're getting a job really quick. So Alicia wants a message from Spirit. Puja Prajapati. Absolutely. Do you want a message from Spirit or do you have a question, honey? You're quite welcome. If you guys think I can do pretty good on this stuff right now, you should see me in a live when it's just you and me online with your questions. Or if you're local, we can go to like a Panera Bread or a Denny's or something. Yeah, I think you're getting a job before the end of, you'll be working at a job before the end of this year. Actually, I need to keep up on what's going on my phone, guys. I apologize, but I'm going to make sure that I know what's happening. What's your ETA? Please. What it says, what's your email? That's not what I typed. Goofball. Okay. Yes, by the end of 2025. All right. So I have time to stick around here for a bit. That's awesome. Boop-a-doo-doo-doo. Once you are in your car and on your way, if you can give me an ETA that would be more solid, that would be much appreciated. Exclamation point. So happy everything is coming together for you. Exclamation point. All right, let me get back to focusing on my peeps. So let's see. Puja. What do you want to know? Puja, that's a reading, honey. That's not a question. A specific question. La da 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 da. A specific question, or I'll do a message from Spirit from you, whichever one you choose. So Alicia wanted a message from Spirit. Alicia, are you still in the room? I hope you are. Okay, so decide what is soon for you, honey. Alicia's message from Spirit. Yay, so glad you're here. Awesome. Okay. La da 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 da. What do we have here? So Alicia, King of Chalices in reverse and the Ace of Chalices. What? There's something new that you really are enjoying, that you really like. And you've got this King of Chalices here. Somebody's being a grumpy butt about it. They are not happy about this at all. Probably, excuse me, because it's taken some of your time away from them. That's what I'm going to say. Excuse me. S is he communicating? And what is soon, honey? Still waiting to see what soon is. All right. Now, let's look at your best advice or heads up here, Alicia. We have our 5 of Wands in reverse. We have the, ooh, is that the 7? Yeah, the 7 of Swords. And we have the Knave of Wands in reverse. Okay, so here's the deal. Whoever this is that's having a fit because you're doing something that you really like, with this 5 of Wands in reverse, this is saying just keep focusing on that thing that you really like. Keep focusing on that and moving forward. This is like not paying attention to any of the distractions. All right? Don't let this person distract you. Even though I think he's going to be using emotional manipulation, he or she, because look at all the water in this card. And if you look at this card, let's look at him. Actually, I'm going to put him right side up. I think you can see better what I'm trying to say. I don't know how many of these details the camera's actually picking up, but there's a guy here who's like scooting across a really narrow trail to get to the entranceway. And there's all this water running underneath of him. There's obviously some kind of flood or something. Or maybe that's just their moat. I don't know. But he's scooting across to get to something. He's definitely got a goal or a vision in mind. And he can't afford to be distracted. He can't let this water distract him. He can't let all these birds overhead distract him. Can't let anything distract him. He has to focus if he wants to get over into that archway. And so this is really, with this card here in reverse, that's really what this is saying. Even though this person is having a fit, you're going to have to focus through whatever this person is throwing at you. You cannot allow this person to throw you off track. 7 of Swords here is interesting. It talks about the idea of moving away from something in a way that is low key and not like burning down any bridges along the way. And it can be a tough decision. There can be even some remorse, like, oh, I really am sorry I can't spend as much time with you over here as I used to, but because I'm really focused on my goal that you really don't like, I kind of have to get out of your presence so that I can focus on that. Maybe this person is trying to tear it down even. And with the Knave of Wands, this says, you know, this is the Knave of Wands is like the page. This is a message. And when it's in reverse, this is a message saying, I am not on board with your stuff. So whatever this guy is doing, that's trying to distract you from your goal or your vision that you have, the best thing you can do is kind of go away quietly. Excuse me. So you can get some time away from this person and not participate in whatever they're trying to stir up. Like if they're trying to get you to fight about it, if they're trying to get you to defend the idea of doing this, whatever it is, you don't have to participate in that conversation or in that argument. You just kind of go away quietly and do your own thing. Stay really focused on your visions and goals. Don't let this person pop your dream and blow it up. Okay? Hope that makes sense for you, Alicia. All right, so that was Alicia. Next up is Properly. Properly, are you still in the room? You're probably doing homework while you're listening to me. Properly Hood, message from Spirit. Sure, remind me of your name, LP. Yay, glad you're here. Leith, okay. Do you have a question, Leith, or do you want a message from Spirit? Message, okay. All right. Okay, so Angelique. Here we go. Message from Spirit. For Angelique, Angelique, Angelique. Ba-ba-da-da. Ba-ba-da-da. Oh, my goodness. I don't know if I'm too worried about that. We saw that you created a tower yesterday, so maybe that's okay. You may be being encouraged here, Angelique. Right? Or will you create? I think you created the last tower. Okay, so Three of Wands says that you're being right here in the moment. You're not making long-term plans. You're just like moment by moment by moment by moment. All right? And for somebody, that's creating a tower. I think for you, this is self-care because you've got a lot going on. I think this is somebody else's tower that you're creating by being like, you know what, I've got this, 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 and this. I've got to figure out how I'm going to all fit it in. I can't add another thing in. So I think that's what's going on here. I think you're staying very much in the moment, very present. Now, you've got the Five of Chalices, which talks about somebody being disappointed. I don't think that's you. I think that's this person. And we have the Fool. This talks about a whole new beginning. And the Star in reverse. This person has no faith in you. That's the problem. So you're living moment by moment, not making any long-term plans right now because you've got things you're trying to accomplish. That's throwing a kink in somebody else's way of operating, giving them a tower. I think they're disappointed in your new start because they feel like with the Star card, they feel like this is a hopeless thing. So the only thing you can do, if that's a parent, if that's a kid, if that's somebody close to you, the only thing you can do is prove them wrong. And that might take a little time. If somebody has that attitude, then nothing you're going to say is really going to change their mind. You just got to do the grind and do it. That's the encouragement. Don't let them throw you off. Just do the grind. They'll figure it out later. I think so. I would guess that's what it is, just with what I know about you. All right. Pooja has a question. Did she ever define soon? I never saw her define soon. Pooja, you never told me what soon is to you. Is that within 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 years? What is soon? Okay, and Leaf wanted to be added for a reading, so we're going to move on to Leaf until Pooja gets back with me about soon. Let's see. Message from Spirit for Leaf. Okay, so we're going to make this 2 weeks. And see, if you would have answered my question a long time ago, I wouldn't have to skip over you and come back. But now I already told Leaf we're into Leaf, and so that's where we are. You're funny. Well, you've got your motivation all queued up for you, that's for sure. Oh, happy birthday, Leaf. Leaf has just turned 30. That's awesome. That means, what does that mean? That means you are you a Capricorn? How many few days? Are you a Capricorn or are you an Aquarius? What's your birthday? End of your Saturn return. Oh, you're a Sag. Okay. I love it properly. No worries, Pooja. Have a good night, honey bunny. 12/22/95. Oh, yeah. You're just barely in there. All right. So let's see here for Leith. Message from Spirit. What would you like to talk to Leith about today? So, Leith, I don't know if you've been in my room before, but messages from Spirit. I don't choose the topic. I also don't choose the time frame. These could be past, present, or future. If they're future, they happen within a couple of weeks. In fact, most people tell me they happen within a couple of days. Some people even say they happen within 20 minutes of them walking away from me. Okay? Just so you know. If they're the past or the present, you'll recognize it. If you don't recognize it, then you know it's the future. Well, you know what that means, Leaf. It's just time to restart. It's a reset. Sagittarius can definitely be free spirits. Kind of depends what else is in their charts, but it's pretty normal for them to be pretty free spirits. Okay, so Leaf, what do we have? And Leaf is on the verge of being a Capricorn. I don't know if you're going to be as much of a free spirit as some of the other Sagittarius. A Leo rising? Oh, Lordy. Leo rising with a lot of Capricorn, that has to be kind of confusing sometimes. It could work well, though. It could keep you organized. All right, so let's take a peek here. So, Leaf, you have a 6 of Wands in reverse, 2 sixes, and a 6 of Swords. So, sixes are very domestic. The idea that we have 2 sixes here, this tells me that this has to do with things that are domestic. So, things that are happening at home or in the home or with the family, but probably within the home more strongly than with the family in this case. So, 6 of Wands, we do have a situation where you're not being very well appreciated for what you bring to the table or what you do. And with the 6 of Swords, this talks about this is making you feel kind of locked in, like you can't go anywhere or do anything. Like you can't make any changes that you might want to make with this locked in, like you just don't have room to grow. And you're feeling locked in because somebody doesn't appreciate what you bring to the table to start with. So this could be like, you could be thinking, you know what, I would love to be a photographer. I would make a great photographer. But the people around you in your home think, oh my God, what kind of crazy pictures is that person taken now? Ugh. And they don't support anything, like they don't support the idea of you going to school for photography, that type of thing. Now, photography is just a really random example, but that's what I'm talking about here. Like you're just where you could grow, where you want to grow, you're being the opposite of supported because people just aren't seeing your talent or your abilities here. Now, looking at your best advice or heads up, too sensible for your own good. Let's see. You have the Knave of Swords, Five of Swords, the Ace of Wands. Oh, this is really interesting. This implies a lot. So this implies a lot. I just read your comments. Here's what this implies. This implies that to break these shackles, basically, you have to tell somebody something that's important. You have to give the message. This could be like a coming out of the closet type of message, although it doesn't have to be. It could be a these are my new boundaries type of message too. The Five of Swords, there's a big fight about it. It's a big argument, a big debate. Whenever you try to deliver this message, there's going to be a lot of pushback. People are going to be like, no, 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 no. Not having that. The Ace of Wands, though, tells me that somebody is watching what you're doing. And not only are they watching what you're doing as you're coming out with this information and people are pushing back, they feel inspired by what you're doing. They feel like you're courageous, you're brave. And maybe if you can be brave, they can be brave. So by your act of bravery here, like coming out of these shackles and letting somebody know, I'm not going to be in your little shackles anymore, and dealing with all that pushback, that inspires this other person to start to reach and stretch for their freedom as well. I think it's time to quit putting up the front. There's somebody that will be witnessing this or hearing about this at the very least, that it's going to inspire them to reach for their own freedom. Whether that's in the same way or not, I don't know. But their own freedom. Yeah. Now, if I was doing a private reading for you, I would find out, like, okay, what is their reaction? We already see there's pushback, but like, is this temporary pushback? Is this big time pushback? What is their reaction? Because the idea that somebody is inspired by what you're doing implies to me that maybe that reaction isn't as bad as it could be. Or maybe it is, and maybe that's what's inspiring this person. But I would want to dig into that. If we were doing a private reading, I would dig into what exactly is the reaction that's coming back on this, and how should we prepare for that reaction. I would look at both of those if we were doing a private reading. Could be more boundaries. Whatever it is, you got people in your sphere of influence that are not going to be thrilled about it. That could be. And maybe this is spirit letting you know this is the ripple effect that you're having by having these conversations. Because sometimes spirit does talk about things from the past, especially if they want us to have a different perspective on those things. You're quite welcome. Quite welcome. What? That's not what I meant to do. I just touched a conversation on my phone to look at it. Boo-ba-da-doo. All right, let's see. Pooja went to bed. I think I've read for everybody who wants to be read for. I guess it is time for me to exit. If you guys want a private reading with me, feel free to check out my website. You can see it right there at the top of my screen. That's my website where you can find out all the information about the different types of work that I do. I do a lot of long distance readings online. So if you're not in the local area, that's not a problem at all. I also do long distance Reiki. If you are in the area, I get rid of ghosts. If you want ghosts kicked out of your house, I'm nicer about it than that, but I do get rid of them. If you have demons, same thing, get rid of them. That's my job. I do that. You can find all of that information on my website. You can find out about my Reiki candles that I light for people, all my different styles of readings. And you can even find some of the products that I have in my store if you go to my website. Also, if you sign up for my newsletter from my website, then whenever it's your birthday season, you get a 40% discount on a live reading with me if you want it. So thank you guys for being here, for hanging out with me, for checking out all my information. I appreciate you all so, so, so much. Have a good rest of your year and a happy new year as well. Peace out.